Asking forgiveness, the key to restoration of damaged relationships. We might be thinking, what in the world did we do to cause this person to be offended toward us? What can I do to restore the relationship? Yeshua, Jesus, he's often called today by others, in Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 through 24 is quoted as saying, "Therefore, if you are presenting your offering at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your offering there before the altar, and go. First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and present your offering." And the altar was the first stop on the way into the Holy of Holies, and if we can't get past that to the Almighty Himself, we've got problems. And what is our Creator saying? Hey, let's leave our things we want to present to Him there at the altar. Go get reconciled with our brother, our sister, husband, wife, employer, employee, etc., and then come and get into His fellowship, into His presence. In other words, He places very high value on our relationships with each other. How not to ask forgiveness. Betty, I apologize if what I said hurt you. The word apologize is not in our Bible, the manufacturer's manual. We are only acknowledging that we made a mistake when we say, I apologize. And the definition of apology, to make excuse or regretful acknowledgement of a fault or an offense. That's not what we do when we ask forgiveness. And when we make an excuse or regretfully acknowledge a fault or an offense, that doesn't go near far enough to reconciling with that person. The second definition, to make a formal defense or justification in speech or writing. No, we do not want to justify ourselves when we ask forgiveness. We don't want to defend ourselves. We'll want to get all the cards on the table, take full responsibility, assume the fault, and then forgiveness can come. If. Betty, I apologize if what I said hurt you. Well, the word if simply means we are implying I cannot possibly see how this would have offended an ordinary person. But if I did offend you, in other words, if you're so sensitive that it hurt you, then no, we don't want to use that word if. John, I'm sorry for what I said. Well, sorry simply acknowledges our error. Hitler was indeed sorry that he did not commence his attack on Russia earlier in the spring so the Nazis could have captured Moscow before the Russian winter snows began. Sorry doesn't go very far. Definition of sorry, feeling or expressing sympathy, pity, or regret. And yes, that's part of being convicted that we have been wrong in offending our brother or sister. Worthless or inferior. We do not want to feel worthless or inferior, and we don't want to make the other party feel that. We're all of very great value in the eyes of our Creator, Redeemer. Causing sorrow, grief, or misfortune. Yes, we did that when we offended them, but we want to go much further than this and seek complete restoration and reconciliation. So, how do we ask forgiveness and become reconciled? We get right to the point. John, Julie, I have come to realize I was wrong and hurtful when and then we name that very specific offense. And then we ask, would you forgive me? And you might even want to say, would you please forgive me? And look at what we're doing. We're taking full responsibility for the offense. We're getting right to the heart of the matter. And we're showing we are fully repentant and humbly desire to be reconciled. Yahweh will then remove the load of guilt from our shoulders and place it on the shoulders of the offended one. Now, they often do not know what to do with it and may respond, oh, that's not important, forget it, or do not worry about it, or they might unload even more on us. Well, if they do, then thank Yahweh, of course silently, for more revelation of our offenses. And then also ask their forgiveness of the newly revealed specific items that were on their mind, on their heart, that we didn't know about. But if they come right back with something like, "Oh, do not worry about it, no big deal," then respond, "Well, I appreciate your response, your kindness in that, but it would mean so much to me if you could forgive me now." And when they see you're fully interested in restoration now, and when they sense we are truly desiring forgiveness and restoration, that we respect them and are aware of our offense, then I have found that they will forgive. Next, we can enjoy the blessings of restoration and freedom from guilt, and then be prepared to see Yeshua enlarge our ministry, our influence, not only with the ones we've offended, but even with others. My experience, I have always been forgiven. Every time I've had to ask for forgiveness, and I've had to ask many times, but thankfully at age 72 I'm finally beginning to learn to control myself, with only one exception, and that's one fellow, and I'm still working on him, and hopefully he'll come around someday and forgive me. Then we'll find that we must still continue to work to maintain the relationship with a person, and don't be surprised if he always sends you another test, maybe from the same person, to see, are we going to offend again, or are we going to turn the other cheek, go the extra mile, so to speak, and maintain that relationship. The number one requirement for forgiveness: we must truly have a repentant, sincere heart and a desire to be fully restored. We must truly respect the person and see them as very valuable, just as our Creator, Redeemer, sees him or her. And then if they sense this attitude within us, it'll go a long ways to breaking down the barriers. Who is at fault? Well, sometimes only 1% maybe of the fault might be ours, with 99% of the fault being from the offended person. Or at least it might appear that way. Well, hey, don't worry about that. Just get over it and be responsible for our 1%. Take responsibility. Take control of that which we can deal with and ask forgiveness on that. Is it biblical? I think so. Matthew 7, the Savior is again quoted as saying, "Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you'll see clearly how to take the speck out of your brother's eye." What did I do? Sometimes we might ask. Did I offend them? Well, if we do not know what is truly the cause of the damaged relationship, then let's ask Father Yahweh to reveal it, and go, generally speaking, with the first thought which comes to mind. That's probably a thought from Him with that thing that we did that offended the other. And it will look very small in our own eyes, but to the offended party, it can look very large, like that log. The results of what we have done when we ask and receive forgiveness, we have shown that we highly value and respect the person and their relationship. We have humbled ourselves, and it's very humbling to ask forgiveness. And look at the results of humbling ourselves. Out of 1 Peter 5, God, or Yahweh, is opposed to the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you at the proper time. He'll exalt us in the eyes of those we humble ourselves before by asking forgiveness. Where do we get the power and the ability to do something that's very humbling? The natural man cannot do it in and of himself, but only, well, I shouldn't say only, but those who have received Yeshua, who have received the Savior into their life and become united with Him, sort of like the sperm and the egg uniting, and here comes a new creature, a new spiritual person. Then they have His character traits, His ability, His power to do what others find very difficult to do. And Yeshua is compared to the water of life, and we can know all about that water, know every little molecule, every part of the hydrogen, oxygen, etc. But until we actually receive that water into our life, or receive Him into our life, it does us no good. So we have to make a choice. Will we receive the Savior, or will we reject him? And if you have not personally invited him into your life, I would invite you to do that today and enjoy the wonderful life of walking with him. And you are blessed. Number 6 is the Aaronic blessing, and I'm going to invoke that blessing upon you now. Those of you who have taken the time and effort to listen to this video on being restored by asking forgiveness. Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel. And I've done just that. And then he goes on to say, and I will, not I may, but I will bless them. So you're blessed. Go out and hit home runs now. Enjoy wonderful restored relationships and share with others how to do just that and enjoy this wonderful, beautiful life that our Creator, Redeemer has given us.